Hi, I'm Jane Holland and welcome to your creative forecast for the full moon in Capricorn on the 24th of June 2021. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to hear more of these monthly horoscopes. And don't forget, if you look below, you will find the link to my Patreon account, which allows you to find the written text for all my horoscopes. Now, this is an amazing few weeks ahead of strong and emotional astrological significance. So amazing and full of powerful energies, in fact, that I've been finding it difficult to find the time to get these videos online. So apologies for the late arrival. Now, the summer solstice fell on Sunday, 20th of June. That's the sun entering Cancer and ushering in all those relaxed, mellow summertime vibes that we love. Hotter days, we hope, and great weather, lazy days in the sun. But Cancer is also the sign that looks back at our roots. It's about our origins, who we are, who we come from, where we come from, our family history and background. So it may be that around this time we are looking back and saying, where do we come from, who are we, and so on. But on June 21st, Venus in Cancer is going to form a harmonious aspect to Neptune in Pisces, and this will have been bringing love and joy to some of us, especially those in water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, because water is all about harmony and emotional flow and creativity too. But this could be a creativity touching Neptune that borders on fantasy. It's romantic and beguiling and charismatic. And it's not only the water signs that will be touched by this, but their opposites too. That's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, and anyone with planets in these signs, especially around 20 to 24 degrees. Now, this Venus-Neptune aspect is all about delving deep into our subconscious and coming up with fairies and elves and other mythological creatures. It is a fantastical aspect, and I'm talking metaphorically, of course, but for some of us, people who work as writers, filmmakers, so on, artists even, you may have been drawing inspiration from that kind of thing, from fantastical and otherworldly elements, because Neptune is very otherworldly. And water may feature heavily these days as well. And I'm not just talking about lots of rain, though there may be some, I'm afraid. I mean, you know, fountains, lakes, the Lady of the Lake, things like that. Oceanic stories come into our consciousness at this time. This is all about tuning in and dropping out, going with the flow, sitting in the sun if there is any to sit in, and just letting the world go by. If we are able to, this is a strong time to relax and hook into our subconscious. Now, the big news for especially writers or anyone working with language is that Mercury is turning direct on June 22nd, 2 days before that full moon. So you're still going to have a few little hiccups here and there with communications, lost emails and so on, because Mercury does take a few days to get back up to speed. So, you know, don't expect miracles straight away, but it may be that things are revealed in this week following the full moon. Things are revealed that were hidden before. So if you've been waiting for news on something, this may be the time when it finally appears. Now, on June 25th, the day after the full moon, Neptune is going to station retrograde, i.e. start turning backwards, which is not unusual for such a slow-moving planet, but it just happens to be turning retrograde at the same time as Jupiter, who is in the same sign of Pisces, which they jointly rule. And so this is quite a powerful moment with both those planets retrograde in their own sign. Now, it may be for some people that this is a moment to look back, as I said before, looking back and considering how well your inner visions are matching up to outer achievements. And it's also a very powerful emotional aspect. So it may be that you are filled with emotion at this time, and that's something to be aware of, so you don't wonder what on earth is happening to me, why am I suddenly feeling like this. It will pass. Now, the Sun in Cancer also makes a harmonious aspect to Jupiter in Pisces on June 23rd, the day before the full moon. And this is the meeting of two very big, very masculine energies. So that's quite powerful. It's a powerful thrusting energy, if you like. It's about force and light and dynamism and moving forward with generosity. And yes, it's about the urge to create and to procreate, because of course Zeus, or Jupiter, was always procreating like mad with us mere mortals down below in those old myths. I feel this is a time for creative people to be touched by divine inspiration and to create. So stay open to new ideas, powerful ideas. Stay flexible too, and ready to act at a moment's notice. Around the same time, romantic Venus is going to oppose Pluto in Capricorn. And Pluto is another of these big hitting powerful planets. So this Venus-Pluto aspect could be it could actually be just the consequence of some overindulging, because Venus does love to overindulge. So it could be a hangover after a fabulous party, for instance. But for creative people, it could also serve to just brush the edge of your visions with a certain darkness, a certain tendency to turn inwards and look at what is usually hidden in that underworld. So perhaps that vision of fairyland that you conjured up has a minotaur at the heart of it, or a labyrinth. Or perhaps the gorgeous stranger you tumbled into bed with after that wonderful party brings some unforeseen consequences. So this full moon in Capricorn is about dreaming large, but remaining aware of consequences. The Pluto is the consequences. Maybe someone or something is trying to deceive or manipulate you in some way. They're playing a power game that could unsettle you. And with Mercury still moving slowly for a while yet, things could feel a little confused still, so make sure you check the small print on any negotiations and double check people's stories. But the full moon in earthy, sensible Capricorn is all about pushing back against these visions, these dreamy visions. So we've got all this dreamy, creative power and emotion. And Capricorn is kind of the opposite. I'm not saying Capricorns are non-emotional. They aren't at all. They are steady and sensible, and they have their feet planted firmly on the ground. So I think this full moon is saying dreaming something does not make it manifest. It doesn't make it real just because you've dreamed it. There's hard work involved too. Feelings are not the same as facts. So the lesson of this rather stern moon in Capricorn, full moon in Capricorn, could be a hard lesson for some, while for others it could come as a relief that common sense and hard work are triumphing. So this moon is quite practical and level-headed. Capricorn is Saturn ruled. So this could be about structure and control and boundaries, and checking that boundaries are still in place. because all this water needs to be contained, all this emotion needs to be contained. It can't just swill around freely and everyone sort of flops, you know. You need the hard work as well as the fantasy. We need strong foundations as creative people. We can't just always rely on those castles floating in midair. So I would say that this full moon for creative people is likely to be about finding solutions to problems, rather than drifting off into fantasy land with some wonderful idea you've had, but not actually doing the work to get it down or working out how it could go wrong so that everything runs smoothly. This moon in particular is going to help those who help themselves. So if there's a government scheme out there that could help you rebuild your life or your creative work after this pandemic, or during it, since it seems to be going on forever, or maybe a loan or a grant available of some kind, this is a really good full moon time for applying for that, because there's a good chance that you could be successful, as long as you don't inflate your figures or exaggerate your situation, as long as you don't bring Neptunian energy into the mix, but stay sensible and practical. This is an earth moon, and that rewards truth and integrity and solid hard work. So have a wonderful and deeply creative full moon in Capricorn. Full disclosure, my own moon is in Capricorn. Thank you for listening. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.